When God makes you lonely, He has a powerful purpose. You have ever felt lonely? Listen to this story until the end.
In a quiet countryside village, where narrow dirt paths curved between small homes and wide fields, swayed like gentle waves in the wind, there lived an old woman named Martha. She walked slowly and spoke softly, but her heart carried a warmth that never faded. Her house was small, wooden walls and a simple roof. But anyone who entered felt peace the moment they stepped inside. Martha believed God lived wherever kindness lived, and she made sure kindness never ran out in her home. There was a time when her life was full of sound and movement. Her husband was strong and cheerful, a man who laughed easily and worked with joy. Their son Daniel was curious and full of energy, always asking questions about the world and about God. They worked the land together, shared meals at a small table, prayed before sleep, and dreamed simple dreams. Martha often thanked God, not for wealth or comfort, but for enough love to feel complete. Then one winter, sickness came quietly. Her husband grew weaker day by day. Martha stayed beside him through long nights, holding his hand, feeding him slowly, and whispering prayers she had learned as a child. Sometimes she begged God to heal him. Other times, she simply asked God to stay near. When her husband passed away one early morning, the house suddenly felt too large and too silent. Martha cried alone, her face buried in her hands, asking God why love had to hurt so deeply. Yet in that grief, something unexpected happened. Alongside the pain, she felt a gentle presence, as if God was reminding her that His presence had not left with her husband. The silence hurt, but it was not empty. After her husband's death, Martha's body grew slower. Her hands trembled. Her back bent under years of labor. Still, she began each day with prayer. She believed God does not give strength for the whole future, only for the day in front of us. When Daniel grew older, he left the village to work in the city. He promised to return often. At first, he did. He came home with stories, laughter, and gifts that filled the house again. But over time, his visits grew shorter, then rarer. Eventually, months passed without seeing him at all. Martha learned to eat her evening meals alone. She learned the sound of the wind at night. Some evenings, loneliness pressed heavily on her chest, and she whispered, "Is this what remains for me?" Yet each morning, she still rose before sunrise, washed her face, lit a small lamp, folded her hands, and thanked God for another day. She never asked God to remove her loneliness. She only asked to be useful. Martha cooked simple food, cleaned her small home, and worked in her garden, where she felt closest to God, her hands touching the soil He created. Children passing by often stopped at her gate. She welcomed them with bread, fruit, and gentle stories. She listened patiently to their small worries, believing God listens the same way to every heart, no matter how small. Some villagers wondered why she gave so much while living alone. Martha would smile and say, "Loneliness is not empty when God is present." Even animals seemed drawn to her home. Birds rested on her roof. A thin old dog waited outside her door each day. Martha gently patted its head and whispered, "God sends those who need love." One summer, Daniel returned from the city, tired and restless. He watched his mother cooking, serving others, and giving what little strength she had left. Confused, he said, "Mother, why do you work so hard? People will forget you. You should rest." Martha looked at him with gentle eyes and replied, "My son, God has not forgotten me, and as long as I can give love, I am not alone." Daniel did not understand. To him, loneliness meant failure. He believed a full life was measured by noise and crowds, not quiet service. That evening, a poor traveler came asking for food. Martha welcomed him without hesitation. Before leaving, the man blessed her and said, "May God return your kindness when your strength is gone." Daniel heard the words, but their meaning had not yet reached his heart. As months passed, Martha's health weakened. Her steps grew shorter. Her nights grew longer. Some evenings, loneliness returned, and tears fell freely. But instead of growing bitter, Martha prayed deeper, trusting that God was shaping her heart in ways she could not yet see. One winter, she became very ill. She could no longer stand or cook. When the villagers heard, something unexpected happened. People came from every direction. Women brought soup and medicine. Children sat beside her bed, fanning her gently. Men stood outside her home, praying quietly. In that moment, Martha realized none of her kindness had been wasted. God had kept it all. Daniel rushed back when he heard the news. Seeing the house filled with people caring for his mother, his heart finally broke open. Sitting beside her bed, he wept and said, "Mother, you are never alone." Martha smiled weakly and whispered, "God never takes love away. He only moves it." After she recovered, Daniel begged her to come live with him in the city. Afraid of losing her, Martha prayed and felt peace. She knew God was opening another door. City life was loud and crowded. At times, Martha felt lonely even among many people. Then one day, Daniel took her to a home for orphaned children and asked if she would help there. Tears filled Martha's eyes. She cooked. She told stories. She prayed softly. She held children when they cried. They called her Grandma Martha. Her heart felt full in a new way. Years passed. Martha grew weaker, but her spirit remained strong. When she passed away peacefully, children, neighbors, workers, and strangers gathered to honor her. Daniel stood quietly, finally understanding that his mother's lonely seasons were never empty. They were guided. And this is the lesson: when God makes you lonely, He is not punishing you. He is preparing you. He removes noise so you can hear love clearly. He removes people so your heart can grow wider. If you feel lonely today, remember this: God may be shaping you into light for someone else. Love given through God never disappears. It only finds new places to live. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel and stay with us for more life-changing stories.